Yo, what up? Your boy Big Brandoh. Welcome to another episode of Bullshit with Brandoh. Appreciate everybody for fucking with the podcast. This one right here is going to be about me trying to market before social media. So if you were trying to figure out how to do some marketing, say if you run your custom clothing line and you have a vinyl cutter and you're trying to get some momentum going, this is pretty much how I got started into figuring out how to do marketing and how to actually get customers and pretty much just bang shit out on my own. You know what I mean? So for myself, if you listen to the first, or not the first podcast, but the other ones, you understand how I got into the print game, how I started making t-shirts and all this stuff. Once I got my vinyl cutter and my heat press, that's when the custom t-shirt order thing started to kind of boom a little bit more for myself. I was doing a lot of custom one-off t-shirts for a lot of rappers. A lot of times they just wanted shit to match their sneakers, or they wanted, a t-shirt because they were doing something for, they had a concert or music video or something like that was coming up. So they wanted some sort of custom one-off t-shirt for that thing. So by word of mouth, that's how a lot of my customers started to come into play, was just, hey, I got my t-shirt made by him. This is where you could get it done. People are still going to the swap meet to get their t-shirts done also. But for myself, it was by word of mouth is how my buzz started to get going on just making custom t-shirts. What I wanted to do was I wanted to expand the business and make more t-shirts, obviously, but I wanted to start making t-shirts for kids, for women's, because you always get a lot of people that hit you up and be like, hey man, can you make a kid's shirt? Can you make a woman's shirt? I want a shirt. When they find out that you make t-shirts, people always do this shit and they always say, hey, I got a really good idea for you for a t-shirt. It's gonna make you millions, or whatever it is. I don't know why that happens, but it happens to all of us. If you make t-shirts, if people find out that you make t-shirts, that's the first thing they think. Everybody has that $1 million idea, right? Everybody's like, oh man, check this shit out. If you did this on this color t-shirt, you'll make millions. You'll make millions for sure. I have no idea why that is, but everybody does that shit. So if you make t-shirts, if you have a heat press, if you screen print, if you have DTG machine, whatever it is, I know you've either had a friend or family member or somebody you just met that finds out about you and your business. They're going to pitch you the craziest idea because that's going to be the $1 million idea, right? Everybody's a think tank at that point. So for myself, early on, that got to my head really fast, was making kids shirts, making women's shirts. And I just started to spread myself really thin, right? So somebody will come up to me and be like, oh man, I wish I had, this shirt, or can you make me this shirt? And I'm saying, oh, I only carry, pro club t-shirts or whatever in these sizes. And I'm like, oh, if you would have did kids shirts, shit, I could bring you so much business. Or, oh man, if you could make a women's shirt, I'd bring you so much business. People want these women's shirts, females want these shirts, blah, blah, blah. And I fell victim to that, man. And I say this now, when people hit me up with these $1 million ideas, I always say, put up the money and I'll get it made for you. And if we make money, cool. If we don't, you could just have all these t-shirts that you said we're going to be, we'll make a lot of money on, you know what I mean? And you lose out. When you put it in their, put the ball in their court, that's when the tune changes, right? So say if somebody came up to me and was like, hey man, if you made a red t-shirt with a black skull and marketed it to this group, you'd make millions, right? So in return, I would tell that person, it's going to cost me $500 to make those shirts. Give me the $500. I'll make the shirts and I'll sell them on my platform. And if they do good, you'll get your $500 back. If they don't do good, you could just have all the t-shirts that I printed for you. Right there is where the whole tune changes, because nobody wants to invest the money in their own idea. Everybody just wants somebody else to do it, and they want to be the think tank to say, I gave them that idea, right? But nobody wants to take the risk. As business owners, we take the risk all day long because we think we're going to make money off of something and we have a strong idea about a certain idea. We just want to make that money, right? So we take the risk by putting our ideas out there. But when somebody else comes to you because they know you make shirts at home or whatever, and they come to you with the $1 million idea, hit them with that and just tell them, hey, give me $500. I'll print the shirts up. And if they do good, like you say they're going to do good, you'll get your $500 back. If they don't do good, you could have all the t-shirts I made. And then that's when they'll rethink, like, oh, nah, it's cool. Nah, never mind. And they start to backpedal because they're not as confident when they have something to risk. You know what I mean? So going back into this is I fell victim to that. You know what I mean? I'm buying all these different girl shirts. I'm buying tank tops, V-necks, U-necks. I'm buying all of these and I'm stocking them in different colors, different sizes, because some girls are saying pink shirts sell. Some girls are saying red shirts sell. So I'm stocking all of these different types of girl t-shirts. This is one reason why I don't offer female t-shirts now, is because there's so many options. So I have all these t-shirts now, different colors, different styles, and I have them in various sizes, and I'm stocking all this stuff. And now I'm doing kid shirts too, because people are saying, well, if you do these shirts, it'll be dope. If I had one for my kid, I could bring you all this business, blah, blah, blah. I used to stock onesies because I used to make money off of onesies, but kid shirts I stayed away from because their sizing is weird. It's like toddler sizes to like actual boy sizes. I don't know. It's pretty messed up. So, but I took people's advice and I just thought, oh shit, they're going to bring me so much business if I offer girl shirts. Here it goes. So now I have girl shirts, kid shirts, men's shirts, sweaters. I have hoodies, crew necks, various colors, and I'm ready to go, right? I'm telling people, because it's all word of mouth at this point, that, hey, I'm offering girl shirts now. Hey, I'm stocking kid shirts. Hey, I'm stocking hoodies and crew necks. Bring the business, because everybody had that open promise to me, right? It was like, yeah, if you did this, I'm going to bring you business. Oh, I'm going to bring you so much business if you offered girl shirts. I was just fucking dumb to it, and I fed into the shit, and I believed everybody that said the shit. So now I stock all this stuff. I spent my money, and now I'm coming back to the people like, all right, bring me the fucking business. I'm stocking what you said. No business is coming in. Nothing whatsoever. I'm not making no fucking money. I'm not pressing no shirts for girls. I'm still doing my men's shirts and stuff like that, but I'm not pressing on the kids shirts, girl shirts, hoodies, all that shit. Everything that people told me to stock up on, I'm not even fucking touching right now. I'm just doing men's shirts because that's where I'm comfortable at, and that's where I know I have the money to come in, because local rappers and shit like that. So I have all these fucking other products that I can't make money off of because nobody knows I offer it besides the people that I told. So I'm like, fuck, who do I market this to? How do I even get the word out that I'm doing this shit, right? I think it's like around 2005, 6, some shit like that. It's like early 2000s, before 2010. And I'm using the internet, but I'm not using it to its full capability. You know what I mean? Using MySpace and all these other social media networks, but nothing really crazy at that point. And what I started doing was I started going into the mommy and me, or my first time mommy forums, right? So forums were a big thing back then on the internet, where people would make a username or avatar and shit like that, and then they would get on there, ask questions, and just conversate with a bunch of people in these forums. At the time, the only one that I was really using forum platform was one for lowriders. I forget the name of it. I think it was like Lay It Low or something like that. And then that was just cool, just to check out different cars, get ideas, source parts and stuff like that. So what I did was I started going into these first time mommy forums, and I would just go in there and say, hey, I make t-shirts. It would be cool if you took a picture with your kid for every month, blah, blah, blah. I could make these onesies for you. I could make these shirts for you. So doing that, it helped my online presence, right? Now people are hitting me up and like, oh shit, you make t-shirts? I'll post a picture in there. At that time, the forums, you had to like post like 10 times before you were allowed to take pictures. Like there's rules for the forum. It wasn't like social media. There was rules to the shit that you had to abide by in order to post or gain access to certain areas of the forums. So I think I was part of like 2 or 3 different first time mother type of forums, because they're asking questions. You know, they're pregnant, they're asking questions, and what I'm doing is getting in there and trying to sell to them. What I wasn't using to my full potential with social media, like MySpace and Facebook at the time, all that shit. I wasn't posting on there too much on what I was doing. I was just using it more so as a social thing, talk to old friends and stuff. So I'm in the forums and I'm doing my thing, and I'm getting a few sales, but at this time, people are very hesitant to buy online. Like they are now. Now people buy online all the time. Like they'll save their credit card information on their computers or their phone to make the online buying that much easier, right? For myself, it was getting people to buy with me and be open to processing through online. So a lot of it had to do with being local. So I would drive to San Diego because that's where, you know, the customer would be, or it was Orange County or stuff like that. So I was just finding customers that were close here through the forums, because nobody wanted nobody wanted to share credit card information or do transactions online at that time. So what I was doing was getting the customers and then talking to them through email, and then I would show them the design, press it up, and then I would hand deliver it, and then they would pay me cash. And that's just how it operated for a very long time, until the word of mouth thing started to grow a little bit better, and then that way I could get more customers, and then I had time to turn down work because I'm doing so much shit. But the way that I did it was I would never be on the mommy to be fucking forums if it wasn't for selling shit. You know what I mean? So how this would work for you as doing your custom shit now would be utilize the Facebook groups. There's Facebook groups for first time moms and shit like that. So if you wanted to make t-shirts or onesies or bibs or whatever it was for kids, you have to sell to the parents, right? So you go to where the parents are, which is first time moms. It's easy to get in there. And you just tell them, hey, I make shirts. These are some of my samples. This is what I've made. Boom. And then you just market yourself that way. You don't always have to think of the streetwear thing. You don't always have to think within your brand. If you're just doing basically like custom shit, put yourself into those areas and market your custom work to the people. You know what I mean? It makes a lot more sense when, let's say I'm not a San Francisco Giants fan, right? But I know there's San Francisco Giant fans Facebook groups. I could get up in there and be like, hey man, like I'm a fan like you guys. They don't have to know me personally. They don't have to know that I hate the Giants, but they'll take to me if I'm talking with them and just basically being a human being in that space with them, right? Yeah, Giants are cool, blah, blah, blah. So-and-so got traded. Dan, did you see the game? Now you gain the trust, and then now you could be like, hey, check it out. I made this fucking Giants shirt. It doesn't have to say the word Giants. It could say San Francisco in black and orange text, but it could be cool for fans. Now I'm in this space, and I could actually fuck with them, right? I could be like, hey, I make these shirts. I could send them to you. This is how much they cost, whatever it is. But you utilize these Facebook groups like I used to utilize the forums. The forums meant that if I was on a San Francisco Giants forum, it was San Francisco fans only in this forum. So that's my target audience I wanted to sell to. And now I could just do that. Imagine if you did that for every sports team, because there's a Facebook group for every sports team. All you have to do, if you're doing like Lakers, right? So say it doesn't have to say Lakers. It could just be a purple shirt with, yellow vinyl that says Los Angeles. Now you could market that to Laker fans. You could go to the Clipper one and do it in like red and blue or whatever it is. You could do any team. Think about it in that sense. You don't have to market your whole self as the brand and stay on brand. You could actually get into these Facebook groups and market your custom work to anybody. It doesn't matter who it has to be. You could actually market the shit to fucking, like I said, first time moms. If you wanted to market some shit to Camaro drivers, you probably don't even own a Camaro, but you have dope ass ideas for people that drive Camaros. You could get up in there and start talking about Camaros, asking questions, just be involved in that group, and then boom, hit them with like, hey, check it out. I made this cool Camaro design. I'm going to be selling it. And next thing you know, you got car clubs hitting you up like, hey, can you make us shirts? Can you do this for us? That's how you get the ball rolling. And it's for free. You know what I mean? All you're doing is just putting yourself in these groups and you're just talking like a normal person. You don't get up in there and just start selling. You get in there and you start talking about what the group's about, right? So if you were getting in there and the group was about fucking, I don't know, let's just say the group was about like people that rode scooters on half pipes. I don't know nothing about scooters on half pipes, but if I got up in there and I just started talking about, asking questions about scooter setups or the best wheels to ride a half pipe, people start talking and, they'll get familiar with you before you hit them with the sell. You add value to the group by saying, oh yeah, I just saw a picture of this guy riding the fucking half pipe on a scooter. Super cool. Who is this guy? And then people start talking. And then maybe a week from there, you hit them with, hey, I made this cool ass scooter fucking t-shirt. Check it out. It could work like that for gaming. It could work like that for kids, adults, whatever it is. If you're trying to sell to kids, obviously you have to sell to the adult because they're the ones with the money. The way to market like onesies and shit like that is you're making cool sayings for onesies that get a rise out of the parents, right? So usually it'll be like, my dad's tattoos are cool. So obviously you're selling to the dad that has a lot of tattoos. He wants his kid to have that shirt. That's who you're selling to. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, it makes it a lot easier to market nowadays with social media and how popular it is and how online sales work now, because people are more comfortable with selling and just putting their information out there. A lot of times, a lot of people put too much pressure on the marketing side of things because they think, oh shit, I need to know this much, or I need to have the marketing plan. I need to do this. It's easy to get your feet wet with Facebook or Instagram. Facebook being utilizing those groups, easy to get your feet wet and just kind of get into these certain areas to talk to people. That way you could actually provide the service after you've been accepted into the group. Very, very easy way of going about doing things. And just think about it like if you were hanging up posters and flyers, right? Say you were going to do let's say that you wanted to sell t-shirts to middle school kids that ride skateboards, right? You're not going to post those posters in places that middle school kids don't hang out. Obviously, you're going to post it where they hang out. If it's the fucking local arcade, or fucking you're going to post the pictures or the posters on telephone poles around the fucking middle school or whatever it is, you're going to go to where the customers are, right? So if you're trying to sell shit to fucking, I don't know, people that are into pottery, obviously you're going to go to where people fuck with pottery or ceramics and post the shit around there. You know what I mean? You're going to where the general public of your target audience is going. Facebook groups does all the work for you. You type the shit in, there's groups for it. If you're looking for fucking pottery on Facebook, all these groups are going to come up around ceramics that you could actually get into. So think of it like if you're going up to post, posters around somewhere, but doing it on social media. It's way easier to utilize social media for marketing now. You don't have to do paid ads. You don't have to boost your ads. You don't got to do all that. You just have to go to where your target audience is going to live. So when it comes to doing like custom shit, like custom shirts or custom whatever, if you were looking into marketing that kind of stuff, figure out who needs custom shirts, whether it's, family reunions, whether it's car clubs, motorcycle clubs, whether it's, people going to Disneyland, people going to Knott's Berry Farm, Disney World, all of that shit, Universal Studios, Harry Potter, all of that stuff could utilize some sort of custom shirt. First birthdays, obviously, marketing to the moms and dads or parents is an easy call. Bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, all of this stuff could be, focused in and just kind of like narrowed into smaller groups, and you could hit all these other smaller groups, right? If you're doing like custom shit for like people that are into sneakers, I used to do that a long time ago, and it was like I knew that a certain Jordan was coming out this day, or I knew that a certain SB Dunk was coming out this day. Obviously I would make a cool ass shirt. A lot of the shoes back then for like SB Dunks were themed around something. I could take that theme, take that colorway, make a cool design out of it, and then sell it to that direct consumer. It was an easy way to make money, but the same exact way that worked back then, it could still work now. So if you got into some of these sneaker, I don't know, fucking forums and shit like that. Talk about sneakers, and then boom, start offering t-shirts. If you're, same goes for like your regular brand. If you wanted to do that shit for your brand, the same thing could happen, is you just market to the people that you actually want to sell to, your target audience. Using social media is the easiest way to find them outside of doing cold calls or walking around putting up flyers and shit like that. That kind of guerrilla marketing, super cool, but you have to remember the investment on printed advertising is, if you're trying to make 1,000 flyers double-sided, you got to think about the ROI. How many people are actually going to look at that flyer? How many people are going to take that flyer from the windshield and throw it off? How many times have you did that, where you were parked at the mall parking lot and somebody left a flyer on your windshield wiper? You said, man, get that shit out of here. You just throw it on the ground. All of that printed media you paid for, but you can use social media where you don't pay for none of that shit and you just go to where they're at. You know what I mean? So if you open up your brain in thinking in those terms, it makes shit way fucking easier, man. Especially for marketing, because once I found out how to utilize like those forums back then, if I would have applied that to MySpace and Facebook early on and all this shit, when social media started popping up, Twitter, all of these things, I could have literally made a shitload of fucking money if I applied those same principles to social media like I did the forums. I just caught on really, really late, and I wasn't aware of the shit until it was already being done. You know what I mean? So hopefully this helped you guys out. This was a short podcast, but I wanted to talk about marketing with you guys just to get you guys familiar with how shit works. You know what I mean? So utilize social media, do that shit, and I appreciate everybody for fucking with the podcast, man. Catch you guys on the next one. And if you have any questions about this, leave it in the comments, because I go back and forth with everybody, all right? Catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.